Hi, everybody. My name is Kobe Warner. This is KOBLIZZY. Welcome back to the show. We have a super exciting episode. So it is Sunday evening. It's 7:40 p.m. It's almost 8 o'clock. And I'm actually going to be cracking open a cold one of Chamberlain coffee so I can try one of the flavors that I did not try for you last week. So last week I decided that I did not like mocha and that I liked the cold brew. So I ran to Walmart on the way home from my acting class. I had acting class this afternoon. And so I woke up super late this morning because I've had a whirlwind of a week. And so I usually like to tape the podcast in the morning. I like to tape it before noon because that's when I have like the vibes and the energy and really the concentration level to be able to talk for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And so it's 7:40 p.m. It's almost 8 o'clock, and I'm literally going to be drinking a coffee. That's because I'm literally going to fall asleep if I don't. And so when I was thinking on the way home, when I was driving home from acting class, I was like, I really need to have a coffee. And so I decided to stop at Walmart to see if they'd restocked Chamberlain coffee, and they did. And so I have a mason jar of coffee ice cubes that I pre-made myself. I have a metal straw. And I have the cold brew latte, which I tried last week. I got 2 of these. I have the cinnamon bun latte. I got 2 of these. I haven't tried this one. I also got the vanilla latte, which I haven't tried either. Also 2. So I'm going to try the cinnamon bun just because that's the one that I kind of feel the most excited about. So open her up, and I'm going to pour over the coffee ice cubes since I haven't had the time to refrigerate the coffee, because I don't like to drink coffee any temperature but cold, not hot, not lukewarm, not otherwise, cold. And so the ice cubes will have to do. So I poured it in. If you're not watching the video, I poured it in. I'm giving her a stir, and I'm about to try the cinnamon bun Chamberlain coffee latte. It has a cute little, like, I don't know, fox on the front. Like I said, I'm giving this brand a fair shake. I know a lot of people were talking shit on the internet. I mentioned that last week, but I don't care. So this cinnamon bun, I don't know about this one. You definitely cannot go by the names. Like I said, I thought the cold brew latte was going to be gross last week, and then it ended up being my favorite. This cinnamon bun is kind of like, the coconut milk really tastes like coconut in this one. The coconut really coconuts in this latte. I feel like in the cold brew one, I didn't notice it as much. This really just tastes like an unsweetened coconut milk latte to me. Or like a coconut milk latte with like a packet of, what's that stuff called? Truvia, stevia, a pack of stevia. It's like a very healthy kind of sweet. Yeah, the cold brew latte is still taking it for me. I'm not really a fan of the cinnamon bun one that much, but I'm gonna sip on her throughout the episode to keep me awake. Like I said, this podcast really deserves an Emma Chamberlain sponsorship at this point, but I am not having one. I'm just a diehard fan, and I'm really gonna try all her shit because I love her. And honestly, her podcast, ever since it's become a Spotify exclusive, is so fierce. She posts 2 episodes a week. She's doing reels and stuff now. Like, I know she's not doing them. She has like a marketing team. But anyway, so that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the coffee. The cinnamon bun flavor is not my favorite. Definitely ranking so far the cold brew latte number 1. The cinnamon bun latte number 2 by default, and the mocha latte number 25. It's very much in dead last place. So I'm going to try the vanilla one next. I don't know if I'm going to wait until next week to try it, but I will be sure to tell you next week how it tastes. So with Emma Chamberlain and her coffee out of the way, there's some pretty exciting stuff to discuss in this episode. And it's kind of like 2 really exciting episodes of KOBLIZZY in a row. Because last week I was talking all about the Chloe Bailey concert. And this week I'm talking all about the Taylor Swift concert in Atlanta, Georgia. I went to night 1 of 3. I mean, it's Sunday right now, 8:45. Taylor's openers are playing right now at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in downtown Atlanta. And I'm not there, but I am excited to talk about the show that I did attend on Friday evening. Like I mentioned, right now it's Sunday evening. This episode's going up tomorrow morning. Like I said, I also like to tape in the morning because I'm taping something tomorrow. Like I have a job to do tomorrow and Tuesday. So I'm like, I don't have time to tape the podcast on the day of. So that's why I'm doing it at night. I'd much rather do it on Monday morning, like the day of, than do it the night before. But I'm trying to make it work, and I'm drinking this coffee. I don't know if it's the reason that I'm talking in circles, but for like the first 5 minutes, I've definitely been talking in circles. It's like maybe it's all the adrenaline from this caffeine that I'm consuming at 7:45 in the evening. But that is neither here nor there. So much fun stuff to talk about. Like I said, I keep saying like I said. There's always a trend alert. This week it's like I said. I keep going like I said. Like I said. That was so inadvertent. I did not mean to. I didn't mean to say it that time. Any whore. So this week on Monday I uploaded the pod, so that's kind of takes up my Mondays. Tuesday I rested and got ready for the job that I had on Wednesday and Thursday. I had a modeling job this past Wednesday and Thursday. Really early call times in Atlanta. So I was really tired. I wasn't sleeping a whole, like bunch. And so then on Friday, the Taylor Swift concert was Friday night in downtown. We stayed downtown. My mom and I, Lindsay and her mom also went with us. And my friend Lindsay and her mother. Just talking about people like you know them. But anyways, so we stayed downtown that night. And then yesterday morning on Saturday, we got up and, came home. Lindsay and her mom went back to our hometown, and then I woke up this morning super late. That's why I slept so late, because I hadn't really slept. Like, I hadn't got a good night's rest for a couple of days, and so I slept really well last night, and I woke up late this morning, and like I said, went to acting class. Here I am, stopped at Walmart. Oh my God, when I was at Walmart buying this Chamberlain coffee, there was somebody in the can. There's like, it's like canned drinks. It's like canned coffee and energy drinks and all that stuff. So there's somebody's in this canned drink aisle, like sitting on top of the water bottles, like the 24 packs of water, like cases of water, sitting on top of the water bottles crying, like in pajama pants, just sitting there crying. I don't know what the hell was going on with them, but I literally didn't even have time to like ogle them or stop and do anything too much. Because I'm like, bitch, I got to get home and tape this podcast. But that was really strange. I actually forgot about that until just now. Somebody was straight crying in the aisle while I'm trying to figure out which flavors of Chamberlain coffee I was going to get. So God bless them. Hope they're doing okay. But I don't know. Maybe it's just a rough Sunday. Oh, shit. Damn. Choking on nothing. So anyway, that was like kind of my week. Just really busy, kind of a whirlwind. So now I can get into the Taylor Swift content. Actually, I know you guys are tired of me delaying, but I do need to talk about some music first. I'm not going to, meander too long on the songs or the music of the week rather, but really loving the Kill Bill remix featuring Doja Cat. I don't know if I've mentioned that on the podcast since it's come out. Some of my friends were like, oh my God, Doja Cat, like it doesn't go with the song. It's offbeat, bitch, you're locals. I literally was so annoyed because I'm like, this is like, it's such a layered verse. If you haven't heard the Kill Bill remix, you really should listen. I don't know how you wouldn't have heard it by now, but I'm in the funk, so I bought a bouquet of roses and cut them up at your doorstep. Your new neighborhood is gorgeous. I stuttered. Your new neighborhood is gorgeous. Paid a lot of money for them fragrances you wore when we were dating, and I sold some lemonade just to afford them. I know it's not a really good occasion to be barging in. I couldn't help but watch you kiss her by the kitchen sink. I pushed the door open, tippy-toed farther in. I wasn't crying, I was staring and forgot to blink. She saw me standing by the something, and she wouldn't stop screaming, so I tried to be discreet and told her, calm your tits. I wish I could remember all the words. You see me struggling to remember the words. So I tried to be discreet and told her, calm your tits. She grabbed a kitchen knife, so I pulled out the blick and got it all the time. Thank God I did for this. Because she was seeing red, but all I saw was you. It happened in the flash when she charged at me, y'all. Crisscross, watch her fall to the floor. Then you paused there in horror. That shot wasn't for her, was it? I might kill my ex. So basically what she's saying, it might not have been very clear by how clearly I struggled to get through that verse without pulling up the lyrics. But basically she's talking about, like, I show up at your door, I cut some roses on your doorstep, on her ex's doorstep. She's peeking in the window, she sees him kissing, her ex kissing his new girl by the kitchen sink. So she pushes the door open. She tippy toes farther in. She starts crying. She wasn't staring. She said, I wasn't crying. I was staring and forgot to blink. A bar. So she's crying, looking at them, having a moment. Then the girl sees her, a random person standing in the living room crying. So she starts screaming. She grabs the knife. Doja pulls out the blick. Ain't got it all the time. Thank God I did for this. And then the two people, her ex and his new girl, crisscross. And in the process, Doja's trying to shoot her man, her ex-man, and instead shoots the girl. So she said, y'all crisscrossed, watch her fall to the floor, then you paused there in horror. That shot wasn't for her, was it? I might kill my ex. And it goes into the chorus. I'm like, how could you not like this verse? How could you say it doesn't match? It's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. I also want to talk about Jack Harlow's new record. It came out on Friday, same day as the Taylor Swift concert, April 28th. His new record, Jackman, it's real good. I think Jack Harlow really is a great rapper. He has some bars for real. I do have to comment one thing. I said Chloe's album, when I reviewed it a couple of weeks ago, was short. The songs were short, so it would be an oversight for me to not mention that Jack Harlow's record is 24 minutes long and has some really short songs. It's almost like a long EP, it kind of feels like. But it's great nonetheless, and I really like it. So I don't want to meander too much longer because I said I wasn't going to, but those are the songs, or the music rather, of the week. Now, let's talk about the Taylor Swift concert. Because, I mean, honestly, you can say what you want about that woman, but she puts on a show. It's like, oh gosh, Taylor Swift puts on a show. I've loved Taylor Swift for many years. I think back to 2010, like 2009 maybe, when I had The Fearless, and the original album came out in 2018. I had a Fearless poster on the wall in my childhood bedroom, and I would kiss it every night before I went to sleep. I loved Taylor Swift. I especially loved Fearless. And so it's been a long time that I've been a fan of Taylor Swift, but I've never been afforded the opportunity to see her in concert. And I've mentioned before that I kind of almost got the opportunity one time when I was a kid, and then it was kind of snatched out from under me. I was always kind of bitter. And so I was kind of viewing going to this Taylor Swift concert as like a healing my inner child moment kind of vibe, because I've always wanted to see Taylor Swift so badly. So initially, we thought our seats were better than they were, and then I looked up the stadium map, and I kind of realized that we really didn't have as great of seats as we thought we did when Lindsay first bought them. I didn't buy the tickets, and so that's why I really didn't know for sure. But in the way they worked the stadium out, they put like Jumbotron screens really all over the place, and so whenever I couldn't see Taylor on stage or see like what was going on stage with my naked eye, I definitely was able to look up at these Jumbotron screens. And so I feel like the budget of the production definitely made it where like everybody in the stadium, basically no matter where you were sitting, could have a really decent like view of at least Taylor Swift at all given times. I will say, if you were watching like the Jumbotron the entire time, you might have missed some of the really cool stuff happening on stage with the dancers or the band or the set, etc. But that camera was always on Taylor. And so the most important part of the show, you could always see. She was always visible. I also would like to comment on the fact that she had two openers, Gracie Abrams and Biba Doobie. Excuse me, I've had trouble figuring out how to say her name. Her name is Biba Doobie. So Biba Doobie opened for her, for Taylor, as well as Gracie Abrams. And then Taylor Swift goes on about 8 o'clock. And then she literally got done with her set at 11:11. If you watch the pod, you know how much I love 11:11. She literally finished the show at 11:11 p.m. Homegirl played 44 songs, plus the two surprise songs, 46 songs. She played roughly 45 songs and did a 3-hour show. And it's a tour, so she's doing it over and over again a couple times a week. It's insane to me that the only times this woman left the stage were to do quick changes. And then she'd show back up on the stage, 30 feet in a different direction, in a different outfit, a minute later. Completely, relaxed, never out of breath, always ready to sing. And might I mention, the mic was on. I feel like oftentimes Taylor Swift is not commended for her ability to perform live because a lot of people don't think of her as a singer. But the mic was on. The show was good. The show was entertaining. The production value was there. The budget was budgeting. And the show was fantastic. Just overall, the show was so good. Like I said, you can say what you want. Like I said, trend alert. You can say what you want about Taylor Swift, but you cannot say that she cannot put on a show because you'd be lying through your yellow teeth. She is fantastic. Not to say your teeth are more yellow than mine because I'm the one that's sitting here drinking coffee at 7:45. So I think my teeth might be a little stained too. But my point is you're a liar if you say Taylor Swift cannot put on a show because she absolutely can. I'm really not feeling this cinnamon bun latte. I actually thought this one was going to be good. Like, I really much wish I would have opened the cold brew one. You can tell this review honest, but, I'm like, girl. Yeah, I don't love all these flavors, really. So far, I dislike 2, and I like 1. So, that's not great odds. But I mentioned, if you listened to last week's episode, going to concerts nowadays is kind of like a different experience for me. I try to balance videotaping and enjoying it and being present. For this Taylor Swift concert, because of the location of our seats and because I, like to remain present in moments that I feel are important to me, I didn't take a lot of videos at the concert because unlike Chloe's playing a 3,000 seat theater. I know that Taylor Swift playing the 8,000 capacity venue is insane. 78,000 people, be for real. But all those people, out of all of them, I know somebody somewhere is going to upload a video of something that I want to see. Or, everybody's been watching her tour on TikTok Live since it started. So it's not like nobody's going to videotape it. And so I didn't even make videotaping a priority really at the show. I really only videoed a couple things. One of the key moments being the announcement of the very first surprise song. So like I said, trend alert. I've mentioned prior, rephrasing, that I have loved Taylor Swift for a long time. Fearless was my favorite record. It was kind of like my really, my first favorite record of Taylor Swift, and it's remained one of my favorite records of hers up until the day. And the fuel was definitely added to that fire when she put out Fearless Taylor's version. I was super excited to be able to get into the vault songs, listen to her voice, be 15 years more mature, or maybe not a whole 15, but anyway, be at least a decade more mature than it was when she was singing the songs from Fearless when she was 18 years old as a child. It's just, it was totally an awesome experience for me. And the same thing with Red. I really love Red, maybe even more than Fearless. And so it was cool to live through these re-recordings. And so when I was a kid and I loved Fearless, I really liked, 15, Forever and Always, Love Story, You Belong With Me, the songs that everyone likes. I loved the songs. Somehow The Other Side of the Door slipped through the cracks for me. And so I actually really didn't love The Other Side of the Door until the re-recording. When Taylor's version came out in 2021 of Fearless, I rediscovered The Other Side of the Door with a newfound love and a newfound passion for the song that I had not harnessed when I was a child. And it ended up being in my top 5 songs of 2021. It was my most played Taylor Swift song of the year. And so it really was a standout for me of the re-record of Fearless. And so she's announcing the first surprise song on Friday night. And she's like, oh, kiki ka. So back when I, was making my album Fearless, and everybody's like, what? Fearless, yeah! She's like, oh, there was this one song that I really liked that I didn't really get to play enough live, that I really should have played live more. And I'm like, ooh. So we're looking into obscurity. And so I guessed before the show, I forgot to mention this, that I guessed before the show, one of the surprise songs was either going to be The Other Side of the Door from Fearless or Better Man from Red. I was hoping it was going to be one of those 2 country songs. And then I didn't really mind what the other one was. I just really wanted one of those because I knew that I probably wouldn't get to see her play either of those songs live if it weren't for the circumstances of the surprise song. And so she's like, oh, there's this one song, that I really didn't get to perform that much from Fearless. Ah, the crowd screaming. Also, she really loved our audience in Atlanta night one. She called us the bouncy crowd. And we also made a really special moment for her during Champagne Problems. She has those light up bracelets that like, shimmer. Best believe I can still make the whole place shimmer. And so the light up bracelets shimmer, but we like all raised our phone flashlights during Champagne Problems, and it was just illuminating the entire stadium. It was a really beautiful moment. That's not what I'm talking about. Champagne Problems was like a religious experience almost. There's a video of me and Lindsay really enjoying the Taylor Swift playing Champagne Problems in the photo dump that I put on Instagram from the concert, if you want to see that. There's also the video of me reacting to The Other Side of the Door, so I'll get back to that anecdote that I'm spinning at this moment. She's like, oh yeah, there's a song I haven't played before on Fearless. Everybody screams. I've said that like 3 times. And then she goes, and it has this rant at the end that I've always been obsessed with. And I call the rant, that's what she said at the end of The Other Side of the Door, I call it a tag. It's like, to me, like a tag after the chorus. But she uses the word rant, and so we'll go with that. And she's like, oh, there's this rant that I love at the end of the song that I loved when I wrote it, da-da-da-da-da. And I literally go, is it The Other Side of the Door? And then 2 seconds later, she goes, it's called The Other Side of the Door. And my reaction, I guess I can play it for you, was actually insane. I was just so shocked that I was right and so excited that that's what she was playing that I literally couldn't even stand it. So I'm going to pull up my own Instagram post and I'll share it with you.
I remember when I wrote this one, I was so obsessed with this sort of like rant I put at the end of the song. And
I said, is it? I said, is it the other side? Okay, I talked over it. I literally said, is it the other side of the door? And she goes, it's called The Other Side of the Door. And then I go, oh my God. Like I just start screaming my ass off like it was like when Chloe brought out Halle at the show in Atlanta last week. Like I lost my mind. And so like I said, that video is on Instagram if you want to hear it without the obstruction of my voice and this microphone. But yeah, so I was really excited for that surprise song. The second surprise song was Coney Island from Evermore, which is originally featuring Justin Vernon of Bon Iver, but he was not present. She played that song though because she had a song with Aaron Dessner and The National come out on the same day as our show on Friday the 28th called The Alcott. And so Aaron Dessner worked on Evermore and the song Coney Island with Taylor and Justin Vernon. And so she played Coney Island as a tribute to her new collaboration and release with The National called The Alcott. So Justin Vernon wasn't there. That wasn't really the point. But it was beautiful and lovely to hear an Evermore song live. Because she never got to tour, Lover or Folklore or Evermore or Midnights, until now. But Folklore and Evermore, I think I was really, most interested to see how she was going to adapt those to stadiums. I'm like, Folklore, the whole principle is like, cottagecore, folklorian, woodsiness, and then you take it on a stadium tour. I was really fascinated to see how they were going to really capitalize on what Folklore and Evermore offer in their simplicity and in their musicianship. I was interested to see how they were going to adapt that to the stage. And oh my God, like I said, Trendler, the budget was budgeting. There was, pine trees popping out of the stage and a house, the Folklore house and the Lover house, and the graphics were crazy and the whole stage lit up and there was a gazillion lights and there was fire and there was, pyrotechnics. That's the same thing as fire, but there was like fire shooting into the air and it was, making me hot and shit. And it was just a production. Oh my God. I would say if you could get tickets to see Taylor Swift and you haven't got them yet, and you should go see the show if you haven't got them already, but it's sold out everywhere. You can't get tickets, period. But wow, you should watch it on TikTok Live because the production that it was fascinating and incredible. And I will say, as much as I enjoyed the show, there is a certain level of impersonalness that comes with being really far removed from the stage and relying on the monitors and the cameras to, really see the show. So like ideally, if I could go back or like next tour when, Taylor's touring some other record, I'll be able to get in on the pre-sale and also have the funds set aside at the time to get like a really great floor seat. But just to be there and see Taylor Swift for the first time, it was magical. And also to be able to see that show was a privilege. Even from the, the higher up concourses, because so many people wanted to see that show and so many people wanted tickets and couldn't get them. We all know the whole Ticketmaster, debacle situation. Even if you're not familiar with Taylor Swift or the tour, I'm sure you heard about the fallout as a result of people not being able to go to this tour. I mean, it was on the floor of Congress as a discussion. The congressional members quoting Taylor Swift lyrics. It was really kind of funny, and a really like strange twist of fate. Hearing people talk about Taylor Swift, tickets and songs on the Congress floor. But my point is, it was a really huge deal. How horrible a Ticketmaster handled the Taylor Swift demand and how hard it was to get tickets. It was no secret. And so, like I said, it's a privilege to have just been there at all. But ideally, going back, I'd be able to get myself down there a little bit closer, because there was a certain level of intimacy that I, for example, experienced at the Chloe Bailey show, where I could see the whites of her eyes from where I was standing 15 feet from the stage. It was not the same in a stadium holding 78,000 people. And honestly, there's a certain magic to those smaller shows that's really enjoyable because of how personal it feels. I'm sure it feels more personal to the artist. Definitely feels more personal to the audience. And so, like I said, no complaints about Taylor Swift at all. The production was amazing. The show was spectacular. It was like healing my inner child to see her after all of these years. And the surprise songs were wonderful. The last song, I don't know what the surprise songs are tonight on Sunday, April 30th, because by the time I'm done taping this episode, she will not even have performed the songs yet. But last night, my friend Lexi went to the show, as well as some other folks, and the surprise songs were High Infidelity. Do you really want to know? Where I was April 29th, so it makes sense. And Gorgeous from Reputation. You're so gorgeous, I can't say anything to your face, because look at your face. You're gorgeous. So yeah, she's really busting down with these surprise songs in Atlanta. But Taylor did really seemed to enjoy our energy, the audience, on the first night, night one in Atlanta. She really loved us. She told us we were a bouncy crowd, like I mentioned, and she complimented our energy more than once. And so I always love when, I can be a part of something that makes somebody that I love feel good. I was happy to be a part of the audience that, made her so happy. I also am really happy to have walked away with this cute t-shirt. Let me pull the viewfinder so I can try to show you. If you're watching the tape, I'm wearing this tie-dye sleeveless shirt that says Taylor Swift The Eras Tour on the front, and then the back is like, I'm gonna turn around for the folks that are watching the video. Can you see it? It's like the Taylor Swift The Eras Tour poster picture thing. And so I got this shirt, and then as soon as I left the show, I love Taylor Swift, but she is a capitalist, because as soon as we left the show, I get an email from Taylor Nation saying, it's not too late to buy merch, 15% off for the first night of Atlanta now. And so then she literally got what she wanted, because I went on her website after buying this $40 t-shirt at the show. $40 t-shirt. The cheapest thing there, might I add. The cheapest t-shirt, at least. And I went online and I got a poster, and my mom got a shirt, and I got like another long sleeve shirt or a sweatshirt or something. And so I'm excited for that stuff to come in the mail. I definitely am Taylor Swift dripping. I am merched out from the Eras Tour. Because it's funny, usually when I go to shows, I really am not even like a big merch person, unless I got like a VIP package and it just comes with it, or like I'm a really, really big fan. And so Taylor Swift, when in Rome, you buy a Taylor Swift t-shirt. Okay, if you're at the show, you can get a shirt. But after the fact, when I got that discount code, I was like, oh, now I can get a poster. Because I wanted to get a poster there, but I'm like, what am I going to do with this poster the whole show? Hold it? Like, what's crazy? So it can get wrinkled and beat up. But now I get it in the mail, and it'll just be perfect. So for all the people that are going to a Taylor Swift date in the future, just so you know, you'll probably get an email with a discount code after the show. So maybe save your coins at the show and save you a cute little 15% afterwards. I'm just letting you know, because Tay Capitalist ain't gonna tell y'all. She wants you to come to the show and pay full price. Tay Capitalist ain't gonna tell you. I hope she don't know that I call her that. I'm saying that in a loving way. What am I acting like she's watching the show? But I'm like, I love you, Taylor Swift, just to be clear. But you like to make money. I'm sure you know that. Yeah, Emma, I'm sorry. This cinnamon bun. I mean, like, the more I drink it, the more I'm, like, used to it, but I still don't really love it. It's, like, more like I'm drinking it. Look how much I drink. Usually I be drinking shit quick. If you're watching the video, you can see this. But, yeah, I'm definitely sipping on this hoe. It's not really delicious to me. But what do I need to mention about the Taylor Swift show that I really haven't mentioned? I definitely covered the Chloe Bailey show in, like, more detail. I don't know. There's just, like, Taylor Swift show is so big. I don't even know what to talk about. She did 44 plus songs. Like, it's insane. Let me see if I can, like, recall. She started with Lover. Then she went to Evermore. Then she played Fearless. And then I can't remember. I know she definitely at the end, it was 1989 Surprise Songs Midnights. The middle gets a little jumbled. It was like Fearless, and then maybe she only did one song from Speak Now. It was Enchanted. So then maybe it was Enchanted, and then maybe Red, and then 1989. And Folklore was in there somewhere too. Oh, Lord. Okay, I cannot recall the order of what she did when. But there's too many records, too many albums. She had 10 albums, but she ignored the first one. She didn't do any songs from debut. Not one song from her debut album. And I'm like, why not? Our song is the Slammer Screen Doors. Perfect contender, Taylor Swift. So, confused about that. Also, at one point, I was thinking Tim McGraw was on the set list. Another song from her first record. But she didn't play that one either. So, but when you have that many songs, it's like you can't even complain. It's like she's doing this tour where it's like almost essentially a greatest hits tour, you know, without the retirement. And so there's so much material. There's so much, you know, up for grabs. So many songs. Also the arrangements of the songs, because are you going to sing 45 full songs, or are you going to cut out a couple of verses, or are you going to cut out a couple of bridges, you're going to cut out a couple of choruses? That's another thing I'd like to comment on. The arrangement of the songs was wonderful. Like, it was really good. The background singers were fantastic. I'm really hoping this is going to be like a Netflix movie, like Reputation, like the Reputation Stadium tour was. Because honestly, watching the Eras tour on tape again would probably be like watching it for the first time, because of, like, I don't know how overstimulating the experience was at the show last night. There was so much going on at any given moment, so much to look at. Because again, a show that big, a stadium tour, you got to entertain everyone, and at any given moment, anybody could be looking anywhere. And so the way to combat somebody being like, oh, the show needed more, the show was incomplete, the show wasn't finished, you put something everywhere. And baby, they did, because everywhere you look, something was happening. It was like this. It's like, no matter, you were always getting an eyeful in the best way possible. And yeah, like the only time I've ever been to a concert like that big was going to On the Run 2, Jay-Z and Beyonce in 2018. Every other show that I've been to since has been like an arena or a theater or a smaller venue, an amphitheater. But I've only been to 2 stadium shows thus far. It was On the Run 2, it was the Eras Tour, and then it will be the Renaissance World Tour come this July when I attend that show in Nashville. I can't even get into how excited I am about that. But like I said, trend alert. My point being that I haven't really attended many shows this huge. And so the hugeness of the show was kind of a lot to take in. And so there's a lot of processing to be done. I really was happy to see Taylor. Like I said, it really was a production. It really was wonderful. I really don't have that many videos to post. And so, like, after the Chloe Bailey concert, I kind of made, like, a compilation of some of the videos that I took at her show for TikTok. But I really can't even do that for Taylor because I barely took none. So if you want to see the content that I have from the Taylor Swift show, you can go to my Instagram at KOBLIZZY. Like I've mentioned, I did a photo dump, including 2 little videos and some cute photos of my outfit. I didn't talk about my outfit. Let's get into that. It was Reputation themed. But I didn't just want to wear like all black or like all like neutral colors, even though Reputation's, color palette was kind of like black and white, gray vibes. I wanted to pop a color, and so I wore these red pants. But I was like, how can you make the red pants, like on Reputation theme? Because obviously red's very on brand for Taylor Swift, but not for Reputation so much so. And so they were snakeskin. I wore red snakeskin pants that were very tight, and they had like a slit up the front of each leg that exposed the combat boot that I was wearing underneath with a sensible 3-inch heel. You can't go too crazy at a concert. So I'm wearing a sensible combat boot with a 3-inch heel, some very tight faux snakeskin red pants that slit at the front of each leg, showing off the combat boot. And then I wore a long sleeve, like, spandex jersey material, like very tight black crop top that had like a U-shaped cutout in the center of my chest, and then it was attached by like little strings and these little metal rings that were circular. And then to match the little metal rings that were circular, I wore a waist chain that had little circular metal rings on it, but it also had little metal hearts. And then to match the metal hearts of the waist chain that matched the circles of the top, I wore a metal heart choker that was silver. All the jewelry and metal was silver. So I wore the silver heart choker, and I wore a watch. It was a cute look. So if you haven't seen my Instagram posts and seen my outfit, totally go look. The pictures are definitely worth the visit to my Instagram page, and definitely follow me while you're there if you haven't. But my outfit was definitely Reputation themed. That is my Taylor Swift record, like 5 days out of the week, but it's always changing. But I've really liked Reputation for a couple of years. Really liked Reputation. So I was excited to rep Reputation at the Eras Tour for Mother Taylor Swift. My outfit was definitely cute. And the shoes actually were not uncomfortable. At the Chloe Bailey concert, I wore these other little heeled boots. My feet were killing me at the end of the night. Taylor Swift, them combat boots wasn't no trouble. Ain't no thing. So, I don't know. It was the same brand, too. Same brand shoe, but a different shoe. So, obviously, that's the difference. But I just don't know why one shoe was so uncomfy and one shoe was totally bearable. But that's another story. Complaining about wearing heels to a show is stupid because you shouldn't have wore heels to begin with. But I'm going to do what I want. It's my life. It's my feet. What else to discuss? I guess I'll totally ask me any questions. If you're watching this video on YouTube, like it, but also comment any questions you have about the show. If there's something specific that you want to know that I didn't mention, you can hit me up on socials, on TikTok at KOBLIZZY, at KOBLIZZY Show, on Instagram at KOBLIZZY, at KOBLIZZY Show. But I think that I really kind of discussed everything that I wanted to talk about. I kind of spilled some of this nasty ass cinnamon bun latte, and I'm not even sure it's a loss. Bitch, the paper towel probably tastes like the taste better than I did. But anyway, so there's not much more to say. I don't think, how many times am I gonna say that shit? If you want some specific details about the show I didn't cover, please ask me. Let me know. But I covered the secret songs, which is what's unique to each show. I talked about the nice things she said about us. I talked about my outfit, and I talked about how much I enjoyed it. So I think I kind of covered all the bases. But yeah, Taylor Swift is a queen. She's a legend. And she's really gracious. It really shows. I feel like she's always been gracious. I kind of feel like some of her appeal is her kindness, which I know a lot of people used to call into question, but I mean, frankly, she just seems really nice to me and really grateful for the success she has and really happy to be still here, happy to be operating on such a high level of fame, of acclaim, of have such a huge amount of fans, such a high demand for your music, for your tickets, to your tour. I mean, she probably has everything and more that she could ask for. And I'm not sure how many more dreams that she has that she hasn't already achieved. And I feel like that must be a really cool place to be in life. And so how couldn't you be gracious? And so, yeah, commending somebody for their graciousness is kind of like bare minimum. But gosh, she just seems so gracious. And a lot of celebrities do not. And Emma Chamberlain mentioned in her podcast recently how we deify celebrities. And so if you're disappointed by somebody when you meet them, don't be surprised, because it's kind of your fault that you've placed these expectations upon them. And not that I've met Taylor Swift, but she seems like she'd be really fucking nice. And really fucking grateful for the support of her fans. That's just the vibe she gives me. Maybe it's just because I will defend her until the cows come home, but I love me some Taylor Swift. So yeah, that's my experience at the Eras Tour. It's been a busy week, and this episode is, like I said, kind of really just being shoved into my schedule. I'm just trying to make it fit. But I just had to talk about my experience at her show this past Friday. The recovery that I've experienced this weekend, the Taylor Swift hangover that I have been in the thick of. Yeah, the lady puts on a good show. And that's one thing you cannot say about her, is that she does not. You can't say that shit. It would be a bold-faced ass lie through your yellow teeth. Like I said, even though my teeth yellow too. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. 2 episodes in a row covering concerts. Next week, I will not be covering a concert. I do not have any concerts coming up this week. But I will be back with a story time of some sort of hot, juicy gossip, maybe some hot topics. In the meantime, please revisit episodes 1 through 31 of KOBLIZZY. This was episode 32, all about the Eras Tour. Please like the video and comment on YouTube. Please leave a review if you're on a streaming platform. And if you see me in the street, give me a big fat kiss. Actually, probably don't do that. But if you're cute, maybe be like, hey, I heard you say on your podcast, do you want to kiss? And I'll be like, you're kind of cute, let's kiss. So maybe it'll happen like that. But don't like walk up to me and kiss me. That's like very much weird. It's not what I meant. Definitely have boundaries. Also, it's kind of still a pandemic, so maybe kissing random strangers isn't a good idea. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back. And I'm sure it will be no less tangent filled than this episode was. It never is. Bye-bye.